Hello and welcome back to SnowRunner, y'all. Now in this video, you may notice that we are back on Lime's Playground, the original Lime's Playground, which we haven't been on in a very long time. Now, the reason we are revisiting this map is, well, let me put it to you this way. The latest update for SnowRunner once again has broken a lot of the custom maps, and that pretty much includes almost all of Lime's newer playground maps, except for whatever reason, the first one. However, that seems to be a bit of the SnowRunner experience for a lot of us, at least in terms of the past few updates, breaking things in the game that I would almost consider to be key dynamics, but I don't know. I don't know why the developers continue to break these things. And I'm sure it has something to do with the fact that they added a lot of new environmental features, and they added a lot of new like map creator items. So they probably had to change some of the coding within the maps, and then that also may have affected some of the custom maps. But again, I don't know. I cannot stress this enough. I am not a developer, so I have no clue what goes into the background of making and maintaining and redoing a game like this, update after update after update. So when you think about it in that sense, I mean, I'm only speaking from the experience of a player. However, that's not to at all minimize the player experience or minimize the importance of the player experience, because it's honestly still pretty much the most important experience that a game can provide, because the player, after all, is the end user. But enough going on about update related frustrations. What is this video about? Well, this video is about launching trucks onto their roof and then just leaving them there. Except no, that's not what this is actually about. This video is about sending all three of Lime's latest trucks off of the mega ramp to see which one comes out on top. And that includes the 2.0 version of the 2017 L400, and then this, the 78 L300, and then finally the OBS mega truck. And I promise that I didn't intend for this video to begin with a rescue/recovery, but honestly it kind of had to happen that way because I just really wanted to try a backflip. And when it comes to backflips in SnowRunner, if you've ever tried one, well, you'll be intimately familiar with the fact that sometimes they go well, and then other times they go so horribly wrong that you just end up in a much worse situation than you were in when you started. So we're going to go ahead and send the 2017 L400 first, because this truck is probably what I would consider not necessarily the most interesting, but probably the most mass appeal, if that makes sense. This truck seems to carry the most appeal out of all three of the newer ones, and it's probably the one that is going to be the most popular over the long term. So this one, as we almost drive it off of the edge, is going to be the one that we send off of the mega ramp first. And I am not exaggerating at all when I say this. That was probably the cleanest landing that I have ever seen from not even any other truck, but just any truck in general. Any truck that I have ever taken off that ramp has either always bounced or done some sort of like, almost like some sort of super uneven, tumbly, rolly thing, and then eventually ended up on its wheels. But that was, in all seriousness, probably the cleanest landing I have ever had out of, honestly, almost any truck that I have ever tested. which, as you're about to see, is kind of a stark contrast to how the 78 L300 did. And yes, I am still so incredibly mad that that it didn't land on its wheels after that second roll/flip thing that it did, because it almost did. That was honestly almost some kind of wild SnowRunner jump landing trick shot. And I would have been extremely happy if that had actually worked, but it didn't. So we're gonna just have to leave it at that and go grab the OBS Mega. Now, before we get to the ramp though, let me demonstrate how bad these tires are in mud. Yeah, they're horrible. Granted, they are monster tires, they're not mud tires. And if you wanted to go through the mud with any sort of effectiveness, these are not the tires to pick. I just wanted to see how bad they were in mud. And the answer was, well, honestly, it was exactly what I expected it to be. Although what wasn't what I expected was the instability of this truck as you drive it. And maybe that's just something I have to get used to. Or maybe it's the truck itself. I don't know. If y'all have driven this truck, let me know in the comments down below if you've experienced this sort of like wobbly dynamic that it does. I have no idea why it likes to do it, but what I do know is that it can be very unsettling as far as like driving it goes, because you're always worried about sending it into some sort of flat ground barrel roll situation. And as far as how this thing actually did, let's go ahead and find out. And in order to understand what actually happened there, essentially what happened was we landed on its nose. It did a backwards front flip, so literally a reverse front flip, and then landed on its nose again, and then bounced, and then flopped on its side. So it kind of went for a little bit of a extended wild ride of sorts, but the 2017 L400 2.0 absolutely won out over the other two in terms of just, honestly, just overall composure in terms of landing jumps. Now, the strange thing though about this truck is once it gets up over a certain speed, it starts to almost behave like dirt is actually asphalt. And I say that because obviously we all know SnowRunner has some wonky asphalt physics, but this thing will start acting like those physics are present on dirt as well. And then when it starts to get sideways and then eventually grabs grip, it will just go into random barrel rolls. And, you know, if random barrel rolls are your thing, it may very well be the truck for you. However, if random barrel rolls are not your thing, well, you just might have to look elsewhere. However, there was one more thing that I still wanted to do that I hadn't had the chance to try yet with this truck, which was attempt another backflip. Now, the reason I wanted to attempt another backflip was because I got so close last time that I kind of figured I could do it. I had just enough of an inkling that I could do it that I wanted to try it again, and I got like 3/4 of the way around. And I'm sure if you tried it with enough different speeds and different, you know, approaches, and essentially just spent a ton of time on it, you could probably eventually get this thing to do a backflip, although it would definitely be a bit of an undertaking. and it would also be very involved. And of course, if you would like to go and attempt this challenge yourselves, let me know how the trucks do for you in the comments down below. And also, if you find yourself using any of these trucks on sort of a day-to-day basis in SnowRunner for whatever purpose, then let me know if you've been enjoying them in those comments down below. But that is going to do it for this video slash comparison test slash experiment. So once again, hope y'all enjoyed, and I'll see y'all next time.